Hey Cancer, welcome to your reading. I'm Empress Rose. These are general readings, so we take what works and we leave what doesn't, as with everything in life. And if I don't catch your wavelength or storyline on this reading, go check your other major placements. Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. We're starting with an intuitive vibe off of these oracle cards, Moonology and Work Your Light. And then we're going to move on to the Golden Tarot for a more traditional tarot spread. All right. What messages do we have for Cancer this week? Anything more? Perfect. Okay. Oh, that's so fascinating. These cards have come out from multiple people. Yeah, that's interesting. To me anyway. Look at the big picture, full moon in Sagittarius, so getting a broader view of things, looking at the big picture. Maybe some of the details are getting a little hinky or funky right now, but you're supposed to overall look at the forest. Don't focus quite so much on each individual tree or moment or day here, but just getting the overall gist. Like overall, you know, people can be good people. Every so often they might have a moment, but overall, you know, so we're looking at the bigger picture here. We have Star Mother. How can you mother yourself? We also have, oh my gosh. We also have a microphone now, which should make things slightly better, sound better. And then we have Star Mother. How can you mother yourself? So supporting and caring for yourself, Cancer. Yeah. Mothering yourself, making sure you have what you need, you're comfortable, making sure you're comfortable with yourself and you value yourself. And then soul, family, call in your tribe. You don't have to do it alone. So whatever's going on here, you've got friends, you've got family, you've got someone you can count on. Call out to them. Make sure your people know what you're needing right now and that you need support. But I'm also seeing something about like maybe a friendship here. Maybe a friend isn't going to be available, or someone that's usually supportive of you isn't going to be available for a moment, but make sure you're looking at like overall, are they available? Overall, how does this relationship feel? That kind of thing. You may have to take care of yourself for a little bit, self-soothe here. But overall, you do have a lot of people supporting you. You do have support. This could also be meeting somebody, meeting some new people this week. But it is about calling out for support and asking for support. And that's a way that you can mother yourself, calling in some troops here for support. All right, Cancer. This is your past, your present, your inner landscape. What's at issue? Your environment, your to-do list, and your possible outcome. This is a very similar to-do list that I've seen recently. I can't remember who it was for, but... all right. So in your recent past, you have justice here. You have some sort of, maybe you work with the legal system, some sense of fairness. Maybe something was unfair, because in this card, the scales are definitely tipped here. So justice and fairness, what's fair, what's right, what's true, what's honest, what's the true, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Yeah, there's something in your recent past that's felt very unfair. A sense of injustice, a sense of unfairness here. In your current situation, well, I mean, we get the justice card. It wasn't reversed. So maybe justice was served. Maybe there was some karmic justice or some fairness coming in. Something got balanced possibly, or needed to be balanced. But that was on your mind. That was on your mind in the environment, in the issue that you've been dealing with in the past. Fairness, truth, honesty, some sort of justice here. In your current situation, you have 10 of Swords. So this is a good and a bad card. It just looks like a bad card, right? But the good part is we have a dawn coming in right here, right on the horizon. This is about a lot of pain, a lot of transition, a big transition from a big cycle change. This is a lot of pain, a lot of suffering, a lot of hurt. You've been stabbed in the back multiple times. You felt like you were going to get eaten by a dog, but it's ending. It's over now. The whole situation, whatever, I almost want to say painful truths came in here, have reached their logical conclusions, and you've experienced as much pain as you can possibly experience. So anyway, ending of a painful cycle here, basically, 10 of Swords. So the good news is that they ran out of swords. I mean, of course, obviously the bad news is all the swords are in you, and you have a lot. This has been a very painful process, a very painful situation. The good news is they ran out of swords and they ran away. So healing is available now, but this is the end of a big, painful situation. In your hopes and fears here is 7 of Coins, waiting for something that you worked on and planted to bear fruit. So that's what's on your mind, is how much longer you have to wait. You put in a lot of effort here. I don't think you got any rewards. In fact, I think instead of rewards for your effort, you ended up with a lot of pain. It's a little bit like no good deed goes unpunished, or a little bit like just putting in a lot of work into something and just not having yet reaped the rewards. So you might be feeling very impatient. You might be hopeful. You could be hopeful that there's going to be a rest and a break, because I think you could really use one after this 10 of Swords. But you could also be hoping for something to bear fruit. So you could be afraid also of something bearing fruit, but you're hopeful. But you are worried about having to wait too long. Like, how much longer do you have to wait for this? You put in the work, you put in the effort. How much longer is this going to be? Your heart's ready to move forward. You're kind of stuck waiting, and I think you're worried about how long you're going to be waiting. I think you're still hopeful, though, that whatever work you've put in before, whatever you've invested into this situation is going to bear some fruit. I think you're hoping for that. You haven't seen it yet, but you're hoping for whatever you put so much effort in and endured so much pain for, that it will be worth it and there will be fruit here. What's at issue here is the 7 of Wands reverse. This is not standing your ground, not really standing up for what you believe in, not really defending yourself, not really fighting for what you want. You're waiting for what you want. You're waiting for what you've invested, but you're not really fighting for it right now. 7 of Wands here. This would normally be being in a defensive position, pushing back on something. Defending yourself, defending your own intuition, your own choices, your own decisions. You don't really, maybe you're not even sure you can defend your own choices and decisions. Maybe you're not even sure you can defend yourself here, or like you even want to. Like, I don't even know if I made a good decision right now. It seemed like a good decision at the time, seemed like the right thing to do. It turned into a lot of pain and suffering. I've been waiting a hell of a long time for some results here. I don't know if they're coming in. I don't even know if I can defend my original decision here, because so far I have nothing to show for it, and I'm not even sure it was a good idea anymore. So you're either zipping up and not defending yourself at all against naysayers, internal or external. Internal or external naysayers. I don't think you're defending yourself against yourself even right now. I think you're just like, well, I don't know. Maybe I didn't make the right choice here. Maybe I didn't make a very good decision. I don't know. Maybe this isn't going to turn out. So in your environment, you have this 8 of Cups card, looking forward to something else, looking forward to there's something in your environment that's saying, you need to move on. You need to move forward. You need to do better. You need to find a better situation. 8 of Cups is supposed to be, you have everything you need. It looks like you've got everything. It looks like you've made a bunch of progress. It looks like you have enough 8 of Cups. That's enough. It's an arm load. Why do you need more than 8 cups? But your intuition is out here. You are listening to it, and it's telling you that it's time to move on. So there's something in your environment that's like, there's something better. There's something more. There's something better. I'm not even sure you're moving on you're just going off on a little trip to find your 2 other cups, because you can do better, you can have better. And there's something in your environment here that might be forcing you to move on and find a better situation for yourself, or might be encouraging that, because I think you've invested a lot in this situation and it's not borne any fruit. So I think there's something in your environment that's encouraging you or tempting you or asking you to consider moving on, consider moving forward, consider moving on, finding your cups and your fulfillment in a different situation, because this is you're starting to realize that this is as painful as the situation is going to get, but this is also as fulfilling as the situation might get. And it might be time to consider at least moving forward, moving into a different, seeking out more happiness. I think this could be there's something here looking at the bigger picture. Is 8 of Cups sufficient for you, or do you want more out of life? So somehow that has to do with looking at the bigger picture. Is 8 of Cups going to be sufficient? Or is going after these 2 extra cups, is that just being picky, detail-oriented, or is the 8 of Cups going to be sufficient for you? Interesting. What is the bigger picture here? All right, because clearly 10 of Cups is more than 8 cups. But 8 cups is still plenty. Your to-do list here is 4 of Wands. This is leveling up. The fruits of your labors, the first fruits of the harvest are here, and you're going to level up. This is it's the 11-11 engagement card. Very exciting stuff. But we're moving on. We're moving up to the next level. We're preparing for the next level too. So when we get engaged, so we're just looking at engagement right here as a metaphor. When we get engaged, we start planning the wedding and start planning for the next level. So there's something in your environment that might be saying, time to move on, time to go forward and get more. And then I think this is like announcing or saying what you want, and then starting to plan for the next step, starting to plan for what happens next after that. After you acknowledge, I don't even know, usually I see a public component in this card, but I don't even know if this is public here. I think this is just an acknowledgement that, yes, you've harvested some great fruits here in this place, and it's time to start moving forward with it. This isn't abandoning it. This is, I want to think broadly about this. This isn't like abandoning your career. This is just saying you want to level up on your career. So think about the thing that you would like to level up, because something here has been very painful. You've waited very patiently. I think there's some impatience going on in your environment. Your environment is not helping you sit here and wait patiently for these 7 coins that you've invested in to bear fruit. But so I think you do need to acknowledge how far you have come, what fruits that this effort did bear. I think what you have gotten out of the situation, and then start planning on where you want to go next with the situation. Do you want the same old, or do you want to go to a different, not necessarily even a different direction, because that's not what the 11-11. All right, my phone this time just very randomly turned off. So this 4 of Wands, leveling up, making a commitment to continue on with something and to go further with something. I don't see it, sitting here next to this 8 of Cups, I don't see it as very different than the 8 of Cups. The 8 of Cups implies sort of an abandonment, possibly temporary, but an abandonment of how far you've come and what you have gained here. The 4 of Wands is talking more about a celebration of reaching some sort of next level, expressing. There's something about expression here, because the 4 of Wands really sits at our throat chakra and talks about, the 4s do, it talks about expressing something. So there is some sort of expression I think you need to do of where you want to go, what the next level looks like, while also saying, acknowledging that you have completed the level that you're at. There's a bridge here. There's sort of a bridging, I want to say, from one state to another state, from one, like if we're taking the metaphor of the engagement card, we're going from dating to engaged. We're bridging over this state. And I really get that repeated image here with this sort of harvest archway here as far as crossing some sort of threshold, and then this bridge back here crossing over into some other side. So that's your to-do list, is you need to actively cross over something or go through a threshold. And the threshold idea is gaining, I don't know what to say there, but it's gaining on me because where you're going here is Death card. This is a big transition. You're headed for a much bigger transition than what you're thinking of and what you're imagining and what you're going for. This Four of Wands is a leveling up. The Death card is a huge transition. And look, you have these little helpers in blue. I feel like they're sort of echoing this mothering thing, and you sort of need to, mothering, because there is a rebirth here, right? There is a death and a rebirth. The Death card upright usually is discussing more the ending of something. So we have a major ending card here in your present situation, and we have an even bigger ending coming up. So this one situation has provided as much pain as it's possibly going to provide. It's the end of a very painful situation. But you have another ending. It doesn't look like it's going to be as painful as that one, but it might even be bigger, and you might be more ready for it because you're doing this bridging, this leveling up to this new thing. And I think at this new arena, once you make this commitment to the next level, to the next thing, then that brings in a major change and a major transition for your life. Really big changes. They can come from internal or external. So I think this is a little bit of why you're mothering yourself. I see that here. Caring for yourself as you go through some big transitions here, some huge changes, and you're also meant to be not doing it alone, which I think is what the Four of Wands is talking about. Is at the throat chakra, there's a lot of positivity in this card, but it is talking about communicating, and I think that that's something you need to do. Find someone to confide in, to communicate with. You're not feeling like you want to fight for this anymore, I think. I think whatever situation we're talking about, there's been some sort of justice component to it. It's been very painful, extremely painful and unfair. And you've waited a really long time, and you're wondering how much longer you're going to be waiting for this. But the Seven of Wands here is that you just don't feel like fighting for it anymore. I just don't see a lot of ganas, a lot of desire to win, and you just don't want to win it anymore. I think you just don't want to fight this fight anymore. So you're being asked to move on, but you're being told to level up. I don't think to either commit or recommit to a certain path, and then that ushers in a pretty big transition. So you're looking at the bigger picture. So I think that like whatever is unsatisfying here, I don't think you want to throw the baby out with the bathwater. I think your lack of desire to fight for this, it could just be this particular situation, but overall, if you're not happy with something in your career, don't dump the whole career, but overall look at where you might want to go next, or how you want to level up. Because I don't think where you're at isn't working. Now, normally if where you're at isn't working, you think, I should retreat. This is not talking about retreat. This is actually talking about just leveling up, moving on, not retreating, but moving on, and then making a commitment to possibly yourself, possibly your own life, could be another person too, but recommitting to something, and then that brings in a pretty big change. I think that commitment, which as a marriage would be, so you're getting sort of engaged to an idea, engaged to some sort of something, and then eventually you have this really big transition here. Oh, yes. I think Gemini just got this card. Spring is coming. Trust that the spring is coming. Yeah, you've got this Death card. This Four of Wands card is just about you. It's not about your situation. It's about you committing to the next level of your life or something, right? But it's not talking about this. The whole situation looks kind of shitty, like it's tapped out your patience, your pain levels. You don't even want to fight for it anymore. You're done. But your commitment part, this is the best card, and this is your energy, and you're going to be bringing that really good energy into this and committing to another level and starting to plan for the next level. So I'm loving this one because it's matching the energies of your situation here. Blessing bestowed. There is no end to the Divine Mother's ingenuity and grace. No obstacle can obstruct her generosity and protection. So get used to the feeling of the joy of knowing something truly precious is going to unfold in your life. Nurture that feeling like you would the readiness for spring in your heart when winter is upon you. So yeah, I feel like winter is upon you and you know that the spring is coming. Oh, and the next line says, you know it is coming and you anticipate it with such pleasure. So I think you're bringing the joy of anticipating some sort of big transition in your life into this situation. But whatever situation you're in sucks, basically. But don't get bogged down in the details of it. There's better, there's more. Spring is coming, so have faith and have hope in that. Reach out for help. Make sure you're supporting yourself, and one way you can support yourself is to ask for support from other people in your life. All right, Gemini. Nope, you're not Gemini. You're Cancer. Cancer. Thank you so much for your likes, subscribes, and comments. I really appreciate them.